Okay, thought I'd just make this video now of the N5. I've had it now, what, 3 weeks? Probably put about 25-30 flights on it, so now I'm starting to get used to getting to the feel of it, you know, figuring out whether I like it or not, or this, that and the other. So what I thought I'd do is I'd have a quick chat about the setup of it, how I got mine set up, how the different things I've tried setting them up, and see if I can sort of pass on anything that might be of use to some people. First of all, we'll talk about the blades. At the moment I'm running the standard Radix 600s, they're not the stick bangers. I've used the stick bangers on it. Obviously the difference between the two blades is sort of very apparent. You'll get more pop out of the stick banger, less pop out of this, but you gain probably, in my opinion, a little bit more stability out of the whole helicopter. You gain better auto time, and to be honest, on this particular model I think this is probably how I'm going to, you know, run my setup on it, so I think these might be the ones for me. I'll give it another sort of 4 or 5 flights just to make sure that I'm happy with them. Paddles wise, we're using V paddles, had an old set of V paddles to use. Inherently these aren't the fastest paddles in the world, but these to me work very well with the model. It sort of sinks in well with the model to me. I did need, you know, a little bit more cyclic out of it, and because of obviously the binding issues I went to the head to try and get the cyclic out of the head, which I've done. On these top mixing arms here, the outer ball, which is the closest one to the blade, I've moved the ball out. Standard it's inboard, so I've moved the ball out there, which gives basically less flybar input into the blade, speeds it up, which actually does work. It's subtle, but it does work. It's not massive when you go and do these. So, and I've got another one if I want to. I can move the ball in on the flybar seesaw in effect to give even less flybar input. But I think as it stands at the moment, this is pretty much where I'm at with it. You know, it feels pretty good, feels pretty solid, and sort of sinks into the manoeuvres that I want it to do, which is pretty good. I've moved the gyro here to the back. You saw it in the build. You can get it under. You certainly get a CSM 720 under the canopy, but obviously the gyro can sit under the canopy. But it sits on top of the radio tray, which is directly above the engine. And I'm pretty sure I was picking some form of vibrations up of it. It was nothing bad. It just felt a little bit wishy-washy around the centre as you're coming out of tail slides. It felt a little bit loose. Now, to me, it's dead accurate, and I think it's because it's out the back here. We're only a couple of inches away from the main shaft, less vibration, so I think it works much better there. So that's pretty good. Tail, after I've rebuilt it, because I did have a minor accident with it, I managed to run out of fuel, which I've done on several occasions, so I've got to stop doing that. But the tail, put standard Radix 600, Radix 95 tail blades on it, which are fine. And if you did want to run bigger blades on it, I think it's dead easy to run them. You've got plenty of clearance. I think they'll probably take a 620 blade with fair ease. I've not put them on, don't really feel there's any need, but you could quite easily do that. Had a couple of problems with my boom supports, kept coming loose down the bottom here. I probably had a little bit of vibration on the tail, but it seems to have sort of disappeared, that vibration on the tail now. So you know, hence these aren't coming loose anymore. Also, you've got to be careful when you screw the bottom parts of these, you know, these tail braces up. As you wind them in, you go through the G10. It's such a good fit. It's taking all the Loctite off as it goes through. So that's probably another reason why that happened. But apart from that, everything else is running pretty good. Belt tensions, I've not really had to do anything really. The belt very slightly stretched when I ran it the first couple of times, but that was pretty much about it. You know, now I've set the belt tension, I keep checking it, but nothing seems to move here. One-way bearing, people are having issue with their one-way bearings. Personally, I'm not. I literally, that is installed as stock. I've used nothing. I haven't cleaned the grease out. I haven't used any extra grease. I've just put it straight in as stock. So my one-way bearing is running fine. If yours is not, I think the best thing to do is contact who you got it for, because, you know, maybe sleeve sizing, or there's plenty on the internet about it anyway. But as I said, I've not had a problem with mine. I think once you've run yours, if you don't get a problem with it, that's it. You either will or won't, sort of thing. Engine wise, had a bit of fun with engines. YS56 is what I'm running in it at the moment, which, to be honest with you, I've got absolutely singing now. It took me a bit of time to get this running actually. I think I've tracked down the problem that I had with it. On the mid needle, when I pulled the whole assembly of the mid needle out, there's a lot of black stuff in there, which I've cleaned out, and now sort of put it all back in. I was getting a few running issues with it, but now since I've done that, I've flown sort of 6-8 flights on it now. It hasn't changed its settings since I've been flying, and to be honest, the power is very good, very good actually. I'm sort of impressed with it, and really getting to like this now. So that's for the YS56, so that's in it at the moment. People that have seen me around the route, I've actually run it with an OS50 whilst I was out sort of taking this apart and seeing what I could find. The problem was I put an OS50 in it, and it was with a Rotor pipe, and to be, that had loads of power as well. So if you're concerned about sticking a 50 in it and you think it's not going to work, trust me, it will work. There is a lot of power still in the OS50. You're going to get this extra 10%, 5-10% power out of these newer engines, though, out of either the OS55 or the YS56 is what I run. So the pipe I'm running is a Thunder Tiger high flow pipe. That's a really good pipe, actually, get lots of power out of that. But unfortunately with everything that's good, something bad comes, and it's just bleeding noisy. It's a real howler of a pipe. I've got a Rotor pipe for the actual 56 Rotor pipe for at home, so that's what I'm going to put on it very shortly, and it'll quieten down. I've got a local flying site to me that I can fly the 50s on, and obviously you're trying to preserve your flying sites all the time, so you can keep the noise down, so that pipe will go on it. So hopefully I can let you know how I get on with that other pipe as well. Everything else, I put a set of align skids on it, which you can see there. They bolt straight on, apart from you just got to re-drill the 2 holes in the centre to bolt them on. But personally, I prefer the sort of slightly wider base than the ones that you get as a stock kit. They're very thin, and I never really like them sort of tipping over on autos. And to be honest with you, for a set of skids, you can tip over on an auto and bust a set of blades, man, and it's, you're 60-70 quid out of pocket, which I don't particularly want to be. So I put a wider set of skids on it, and they to me that they look right. Everything else on the model, I've obviously double checked, done all my flight checks on the top of here. Nothing's really coming loose on this at all. The only one thing I did do, actually, going back to the tail very quickly, is if I can just show you in the back here, there's 2 bearings in the G10, and sometimes you can get a little bit of tail vibration here. If you sort of grab hold of your machine and move it up, move the whole sort of shaft up and down, I had it was a notching noise. And basically all you've got to do is just take these apart, pop these bearings out, and epoxy the bearings into the G10. Obviously be careful you don't get it actually in the bearing, but if you epoxy the bearings into the G10, and this sort of cured I certainly haven't got any movement up and down on it anymore, and it sort of cured an awful lot of vibration that I had on the tail. I did have a vibration on the tail, but it seems to have disappeared. So whether it was something that was running in or not, I don't know, but it's gone away now, so it's pretty rock solid. So what else have we got to talk about? Very quickly, the canopy. Do I like the canopy? Jury's still out a little bit on it. It's very visible in flight. You get this sort of big orange bit down here. It's very visible in flight, so it does the purpose. Would I like to see another canopy on it? Yeah, I would. I'd like to see something a little bit more streamlined on it, which I'm sure that one of the canopy makers will do, hopefully. Just this sort of bit down here, unfortunately, it's got a big chin, a bit like myself, but it'd be nice to sort of see this sculpted in a little bit better. Apart from that, my general thoughts on the model are it is an absolutely solid 50. You're not going anywhere with it. It works, it flies well, it tracks well. It doesn't do anything silly. It doesn't seem to have any phasing errors on it. It just pretty much points. It's a point and go model. I could sort of sit here and say it flies like a 90, which everybody seems to say. It doesn't fly like a 90 because there's another 90 size blades on it, and it doesn't have the power of the 90, but it flies very well for a 600. So, it's pretty much one of the best 600s I've flown. It's about the right weight. Is it over heavy? I don't think it's over heavy. No, I think it's probably about on the right weight, maybe a few grams over, but it's a good one, and it's a keeper as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to keep hold of it. What I'll probably do is in another couple of weeks or a month or so, I might just make another video, just show how I'm getting on with it and see if there's anything different I've tried. And sometimes it's always useful to other people to see how other people are setting their models up. Alright, so I'll catch you a bit later.